Hi guys, Samantha from JSMA Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create something I like to call a Doodle rose cane. And so you're going to start off with either white or pearl white or a very light colour, just so long as it doesn't even have to be light. I'm going to just quickly show you an example of the cane. Basically the rose part is made up of dark colours and the background's made up of light colours, but you can reverse that so that the rose is light colours and the background's dark colours. So just make sure that you've got that contrast. Today I'm going to be working with dark inside colours, and so I am going to be working with a light outside colour, if that makes sense. Okay, and so all you're going to do is you're going to have a nice block of your colour, and this is, I'd say, roughly almost a centimetre thick. You want it as thick as you can get it with your cutters reasonably. And then I've just got these Kemper cutters just because they're long and metal and just easier to use for the small ones. And I'm going to cut out, actually I'm not going to start with those ones. I start with this because I want to try to get as large as I can. This is a little thick for just these plastic cutters, but it should be okay with the larger sizes. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to remove that because we're not going to be using that because the cane itself is going to be round. So that is going to be our outside piece. I'm going to bring over the next size cutter. And I'm using round cutters, but you can try using different shape cutters if you want to. But since we're doing a rose, I'm going to be using those. And I'm just going to cut that out, and it does not need to be symmetrical, don't worry about that. Then just grab that inside piece. Okay, and then we're going to wrap it. And I'm going to be starting off with black. I've got some black clay here. Just going to trim that. There we go. And this is not a hard cane to do. It's definitely one of the easier ones. It doesn't require you to be too precise with it. You can be if you want to, but if you're just kind of starting out with canes and are looking for something nice and simple but different from a jelly roll, because jelly rolls are generally the beginner canes, this is a nice place to start. There you go. And so you'll wrap it around the outside of your circle, like so. Okay. And then you'll insert that back into place. And just press that all together again. And again, you can see here how it's not too problematic if it's not perfect. Okay, then once you've done that, move on to the next size down, and I'm actually going to skip one, and I'm going to cut out. Okay. And then I'll continue doing that down. I have got a few other colours. I'm going to do two blacks, so this will be the last black one that I do. Then I've got some Primo purple, and then the smallest ones on the inside are going to be this pale blue. There we go. Now that's the absolute basics of it. You can keep it the way it is, but the actual fun of a Doodle rose cane comes in now, where you will go and actually start overlapping lines. So start from the middle. You want to have circles that will be sitting in the middle. You don't want to have a circle that's just kind of sitting off to the side like that. You still want it to be centered, just off center slightly. So like that's a good example, but one sitting like that's not. So I'm going to start off with this one, and I'm going to have it just be very close to the center, but just cut through. And then I'm going to wrap that with purple. I'm going to alternate the colors and make them a little bit different. Okay, and then the trick later, once you've wrapped it again, is to then line it up again. So I'm just going to widen this out a touch, and then you want to put that pretty much back into the same spot that you cut it. It does not have to be perfect, but you want it to be as close as you can get it so that it looks like you've just got lines overlapping, like so. And then you would just kind of repeat that process as many or as few times as you wanted to. And there we go. So now all we're going to do is we're just going to first flatten it out because it's going to be a little uneven. And I'm just going to press in on the sides, flatten it out, make sure that it's kind of coming in on itself equally. Okay. I'll flip and I'm going to repeat on the other side. This is kind of semi-reducing it, but it's quite a thin piece of clay in comparison to other canes that I might make. So the beginning bit of the reducing is a little different. You can make that starting piece of white or whatever colour you choose to start with a little thicker if you want to, but then you might have a little trouble with your cutters. But it's okay. This one we actually are encouraging distortion when we reduce it because it will end up looking more interesting. But there you can see it's starting to reduce now, and I'll continue doing that until I get it thick enough to start reducing it the traditional way. Here we go. Where's the camera doing that? Hold on one moment, let me get it not green for you. There we go. Don't know why I was doing that, but I've got it a little thicker, and now I'm just going to start reducing it just by pulling on the edges and squeezing the middle. And you can see that that reduces very quickly. It might have a little bit on the edges here, but it's not a problem either. Okay, and there we go, that should be reduced enough. I am going to reduce it a bit more for the project that I am going to be doing, but that should be enough to start off with. I'm just going to cut the edge here, and there you can see how that looks. So it looks quite nice. You can make the lines a little thicker. You can also make the outside edge a bit thicker. If you look at this one here, the outside edge is quite a bit thicker than this one here. But that is up to you whether you want to do that or not. But yeah, that's basically the doodle. And of course I have done it with multiple different colours. You can do it with one colour or multiple if you wanted to. I am going to now be reducing this down into about 2 sizes. Probably going to keep this size, so I'm going to cut the cane in half and keep that, and then I'm going to reduce down this piece. Here we go. Then I'm going to be working on a piece of paper for the most part, so I have that off to the side and ready to go, and I'm just going to cut thick pieces because we're not going to be putting a backing on this. And I'm going to make myself a pendant, and I'd say these are roughly 4mm thick, roughly speaking. Can I cut 2 from the big one? And there you can see they're roughly equal. It does not have to be perfect. And I'm probably going to cut about 4 from the small one. And I'm using a nice thin sharp blade for this. There we go. Okay. And I've roughly mapped out the design that I want. I don't want them to be stuck together like this though. I want to make them all nice and equal round circles. So I've popped them on a piece of paper. I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to smooth them over. So I flatten them out, and I'm actually going to bring over an acrylic block and flatten them so that they're all the same thickness. Okay, and they're just sitting here. Grab your acrylic block and just press, and by pressing on the acrylic block it's going to make sure that they're all the same height. Just about. Okay, it will also have stuck it down to the paper. They're all nice and equal. Then I'm going to cut them out with my cutters, so I'll bring over the largest ones that I can fit in there and cut. And this was why I was not really worrying about the border being very thick, because I knew that I was going to be using cutters and I would end up just wasting a lot of clay if I did that. And then I'll do the same with the small ones. Okay, and now the nice thing is it's going to maintain its double-sided nature, because obviously we're taking cane slices, and so each side is going to look the same. Okay, so then I'm just going to assemble that, popping them together like so. And then we're probably going to be putting some liquid clay on there just to make sure that they all stick together. But I'm not going to be putting liquid clay on here until I'm perfectly sure of the design. Okay. Now actually, instead of using liquid clay, because it's all raw right now and I am going to be putting varnish and stuff, I'm going to very gently give it a burnish. I'm not trying to distort it in the slightest, I'm just getting the pieces to press together. I'll flip it and I'll do the exact same on the other side. There we go, and that will have pressed them together. You can even go in from the edges and just gently press it all in towards one another. And then once it's baked, it will have pressed together nicely. And if you want to, you can use liquid clay. I'm going to choose to bake it first and see whether we need the liquid clay or not. I might use that as a varnish in the end. Okay. But I'm going to put that into the oven for a full hour at Primrose recommended temperature, and then when it's done I'm probably going to give it a bit of a sand. That's why I don't want to put the liquid clay on just yet, because I want to sand it. You can't do that if you have liquid clay on it. And then we can assess the strength and whether or not it needs liquid clay. Okay, and here it is finished. So it did, once it came out of the oven, it was plenty strong enough, and I actually gave it a sand on both edges, and you can see there how nice and shiny it is because I just gave it a quick buff after sanding, drilled the top, popped a bail in and put it onto a rubber cord. The way I drilled it was I just used the spindle, very quick and easy. And if you're wondering why it's a bit darker than the original cane, it's because we've sanded quite a bit, and just by the nature of metallic clays, which is the pearl white that we used, it will come out looking a little darker once you've sanded it in this technique. You can see that there is still quite a bit of the pearlescent sheen. It's just got a bit of non-metallic areas as well. But yeah, that's basically it for this project. If you enjoyed it, please do let me know in the comments below. Bear in mind that you can use just about any colour combination you want. And yeah, if you'd like to support the channel so that I can continue making videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a subscriber or even a member if you're looking for exclusive videos that are not available on the YouTube channel and go into more depth. They are available there. And or supporting the channel by going to my Etsy store. The link is in the description below. I sell all of my tools and supplies on there, and most of them are pretty much handmade, so it would be great if you could check that out as well. But giving the video a like and subscribing is also really helpful and appreciated. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.